Good evening. It's been a day of protest in Dover as P&O ferries face a growing backlash over its decision to fire 800 workers without consultation and replace them with cheap agency staff. Lawyers for the RMT union may ask for a High Court injunction blocking the move. And today, the Archbishop of Canterbury and the Bishop of Dover joined in the condemnation of P&O's fire and rehire tactics, calling them a sin. With more details, here's Joe Caution.
What do we want?
Bright skies in Dover mask what has been a dark day or so for hundreds of seafarers. With the news of their sacking still raw, many marched through the streets protesting at what they've called gangster capitalism and a heartless decision by P&O Ferries to let 800 employees go on the spot. Andy's son worked there for several years.
Still lives with me with my daughter-in-law, and their plans for yesterday was to get up, finalise their mortgage, get themselves a house, move on with their lives, to be told on a video conference call by whoever it was from P&O that their lives were now on hold and that they couldn't go any further with their plans, and they had to phone the estate agents and say, sorry, but I've just been made redundant. Obviously devastating news for them.
Andy speaking on behalf of his son because P&O staff say they risk losing their redundancy package if they disclose details of their sacking to the media. For the same reason, we're protecting Gary's identity too. He was on board when they were told via Zoom call they were being let go. We're not using his real name.
The package that they had said that they'd put together, yet to believe it was in advance.
Have you had a package?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. But I mean,
they called it generous.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think so. You know, I haven't got a job. I went to bed last night, woke up this morning, jobless.
Meanwhile, Dover MP Natalie Elphick was also there to support the protest, but instead was met by hecklers who said the sackings were because of Tory laws.
No, that's nonsense. It's bad business behaviour.
But Tory laws are something former Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell hopes can save jobs.
If they cannot find the legislation, in time for Monday, seize the ships on Tuesday.
A spokesman for P&O say they took the decision as a last resort and they understand the distress it has caused. But unions say this will be the first of many protests until strong action is taken.
Well, up to 600 of the 800 seafarers fired by P&O ferries are based in Dover. The redundancies and now the doubts over the viability of the ferry operator have had a devastating impact on the town, the place that P&O launched back in the 1960s. Tony Green has been talking to the people of Dover.
When you're sailing to the continent, choose the company with the biggest name.
P&O Ferries traded on that name since this advert from the 1990s. But today in Dover, it's a name that's tarnished.
You know, I personally travel with them a couple of times a year and I've closed my account with them and never going to use them again.
To do that at a minute's notice to all those people that have given their life's work to that company is disgraceful.
One of my stepbrothers has just been made redundant by them. My dad worked for them for a good long time. My nan used to work in the offices, so they have had a big impact on the area.
Time and again, people in Dover have shown their resilience. But figures already show that this is the fifth most deprived council area in Kent, and that was before P&O laid off hundreds of crew members based here and severed a link between the town and the port that's existed for generations.
In the 70s we heard about steel mills being closed up north and the effect that that had on a town. Something like the loss of these jobs to Dover it is of the same magnitude, I would say.
While union lawyers work out the legal implications of the mass sacking, the church has condemned its morality.
This is inhumane and totally unacceptable. They're treating human beings with little value. And we're saying, as the church, we're saying humans are of value. We do not discard them.
Work begins now to rebuild the local jobs market. but for the first time without a key cornerstone of this historic town. Tony Green, ITV News, Dover.
In other news tonight, the former Met police officer from Deal who murdered Sarah Everard has been charged with 4 counts of indecent exposure. Wayne Couzens has been accused of exposing himself multiple times in January and February last year. The 49-year-old, who is currently serving a whole life sentence, will appear in court on the 13th of April. £125,000 worth of drugs have been seized across Sussex. It's part of a national effort to target county lines operations. 30 arrests were made, but police say there are still 42 county lines that are active across Sussex. The number of people in Brighton and Hove in emergency accommodation has fallen by more than 150 since May last year. It's part of the council's project to reduce homelessness in the city. They say they've also funded more than 900 spaces for rough sleepers in the past 12 months. And finally tonight, this weekend, the first ever Iford Estate pole vaulting championships are being held near Lewes. And what makes this rather unusual is it's taking place inside a farmer's barn. With more details, is Andrew Pate.
The Iford Estate, 3,000 acres of mixed farmland within the South Downs National Park. Home to a herd of cows, the production of cereal and a barn housing the next generation of pole vaulters. With the barn only used a couple of months a year to store corn, the pole vaulting coach in Lewes saw an opportunity and was delighted his request was accepted.
It's not the easiest sport to do indoors. You need a specific type of facility, mainly one that's very, very high. And we have youngsters here who'll be going to English championships, UK championships, and even European and world championships. So out of this barn will come champions.
We visited during the beginners session, and the estate manager told me, having watched them over the past year, he's been amazed how quickly the vaulters have developed.
I was slightly sceptical at first, but once you see them in action, and actually just the skill and dedication of the coaches and the vaulters, it's just a really great thing to do.
Do you fancy giving it a go yourself?
Well, I'm not sure there's a pole strong enough for me.
The inaugural Iford Estate Games take place this Sunday. Pole vaulters from across the region visiting the grain barn. For some, it'll be their first ever competition in this sport, having been members of Lewes Athletics Club.
I was sprinting and I said, do you want to come and just jump a bit and have a bit of fun? And we had like a selection of groups that all came along. Me and my friend came along, and we got told it should be fun. We started jumping and we got to quite great heights quite quickly.
I mean, it's really nice that it isn't all about skill. It's all it's kind of, you have to just believe that you can actually do it, because otherwise it's all just going to mess up. It's quite nice.
You need speed, gymnastic ability and strength to excel. Oh, and a friendly farmer can be handy too.
Brilliant idea. Weather time now. Here's Holly Green.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
Good evening. No shortage of sunshine overhead for today, although we have had a bit of a breeze, especially into the coast. Into tomorrow, that breeze will be stronger, quite a brisk wind, in fact, especially for those coastal areas exposed to the east. That's the story for Saturday. Sunday, a bit more cloud. Still, I think some spells of sunshine, maybe a few showers. A cooler feel, though, as well. So high pressure dominating, quite a squeeze in the isobars around it. We've got some cooler air feeding in though, and this feature, as I say, might just introduce a bit more cloud and maybe a few showers on Sunday, though I do think the bulk of the day will be largely dry. At the moment, starry skies. Yes, we have got this breezy old wind. That stops our temperatures dropping as low as they might otherwise do, but nonetheless you might just see a bit of frost on the grass, say, in places. So we start tomorrow morning with a whole heaping helping of sunshine. Lovely bright skies overhead, but with this brisk wind, especially where you are exposed to the east. I think stronger than today. And the air that's coming in is a little bit cooler, so temperatures across the board, I think, a touch lower than we have seen for today. More cloud in general for Sunday, the chance for a few showers. There's still some spells of sunshine, warmer into next week.
Valent sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
That's all from us. We're back on Monday morning with Good Morning Britain updates on our website. But from me and the team, have a wonderful weekend. Good night.